the last time that you checked the balance in your most important account, your marriage? Hi everyone, I'm Denise and welcome back. And if this is your first time here, so glad that you popped in to join us. Today we're going to do something a little different. And honestly, it might be more important than anything happening in your financial portfolio right now. At this stage of life, we do all we can to get our retirement portfolio fully funded, or at least as fully funded as we can. But what about that relationship that's going to be living with you in those retirement years? A relationship portfolio is especially vulnerable during a staggered retirement where one spouse is still working and one has retired. It's like you're living in two different worlds for much of the week. And that can cause a strain and a slow drift in your relationship. But here's the good news. Taking small intentional steps can not only protect your relationship during this staggered retirement phase, but it can actually get you much closer to having your marriage fully funded for those retirement years ahead. So like I said, today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to walk through two exercises. The first is to see where your marriage is today, and then dream about a fully funded relationship in retirement. And just a little spoiler alert, my husband and I did part of one of these exercises on the patio last night, and we may have just completely changed a huge part of our retirement life. But before we dive in, I want to let you know that there's a free downloadable workbook that goes hand in hand with these two exercises. And I've linked it in the description below. And apologies if this is a clunky method to get this to you. I don't know a better way to do that. It's really not a sneaky email grab to get email addresses. Personally, I have a designated email for these sorts of things. But I just so value practical tools and practical application. And there was so much that I wanted to make available to you. So it's there if that is something that interests you. All right, let's start with exercise 1. And I call this the Rate Your Relationship game. Any solid financial plan starts with where you are before you can start charting a course to where you want to be. And that's the objective of this game is to find out where you are today. So we'll walk through these two exercises together now, but feel free to bookmark this video and then maybe you and your spouse could find some patio time to do this together this evening. So are you ready to play Rate Your Relationship? These are just 7 real key areas in a marriage, and you'll score them from 1 to 10. 1 being, yikes, and 10 being, whew, we got that one. Make it fun. This is just a starting point. So our first one, connection and intimacy. So ask yourself, are we laughing, snuggling, and having real talks? Or mostly just, did you pay the electric bill moments? Number 2, communication. Ask yourself, do we share what we really feel or need in a way that keeps each other's hearts open? Or do things get tense or awkward? Number 3, shared time versus independence. Ask yourself, are we enjoying us time and our solo time? Or is one of us feeling lonely or trapped in too much togetherness? Again, 1 to 10. So number 4, conflict resolution. When we disagree, do we work through it quickly? Number 5, gratitude and appreciation. Do we notice and say thank you for the little things we do for one another? Number 6, future alignment. Are our retirement dreams in sync? Travel, hobbies, family, quiet nights. And then finally, number 7, overall satisfaction. Ask yourself, if your marriage was a retirement account statement today, would you be thrilled, mildly concerned, or wondering where the funds went? Now that you've both written down your scores, sit down and share them together and discuss the gaps. The goal isn't perfection. Most of us are going to be around a 7 or an 8 on our good days. And if something's dipping below a 6, That's not failure. That's just information. And that's where you can start being intentional about making deposits in those areas. And if your scores differ wildly, blame it on different accounting systems and maybe do a nice little pivot, share a bowl of ice cream, and play this game another time. All right, now that we know where we are, exercise 2 is going to be a lot of fun. Now we're going to flip to a fresh ledger page, and this page is going to be our future retirement ledger. What a fully funded relationship would look like. And now this exercise has 4 steps to it, and they build on one another to move you from where you are today to where you really want to be in retirement. This is where we're going to dream a little bit. And some people are really good at this. Some others, it might take a little bit of practice, but that's okay. Think of this as a rough sketch of your relationship vision board. It's just a starting place. And feel free to hit pause as we walk through these 4 steps of building your fully funded retirement vision board. So step 1, let's dream solo first. So each of you will take about 10 to 15 minutes to jot down your ideal retirement week. Think details. What's the view outside your window? What fills your mornings, your afternoons, or evenings? Include the big things like travel and hobbies, and the small things too, like slow coffee in the morning or lazy pajama days with a good book. So now, once you've completed step 1, we're going to come back together to compare and combine in step 2. So you want to circle the overlaps, those areas where you both had the same kind of ideas. Those are your easy wins. For the differences, get creative instead of stuck. If one of you is dreaming of world travel and the other one is craving more of a home life, find something in between. Like I said, this is the time where you can be creative. Maybe it's local adventures most of the year with maybe one big trip to look forward to. Now, let's make it real. This can be simple or very elaborate, whatever works for you. It could be a Pinterest board, magazine clippings pinned on a vision board, a list of your top 5 to 10 shared ideas. The more you can picture it, the more it starts to feel possible. And then finally, step 4, and this is finding the why. Ask each other, why does this vision, dream, or detail matter to me? Because it's usually not about the thing itself. Travel might mean adventure, growth, or creating memories together. Golf may mean community, health, and challenge. And a slower pace might mean peace or health. All right, now let's lock all this in with a final little small exercise. So it could be a 1-minute, this is what stood out to me the most in this exercise, or a 5-minute conversation about something that surprised you in this exercise, or even a 10-minute walk to keep the conversation going. It's not about a perfect marriage. It's about knowing where you are and then choosing together where you want to go. If this sort of thing resonates with you, I'd encourage you to hit that like button. It really helps me know I'm on the right track. And then to make sure you don't miss my next video, hit that subscribe button so that you're notified when we dive into the simple, intentional habits that keep us connected during this staggered retirement. If these exercises sparked something good or challenging or something in between, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear how it went. And until next time, let's keep living and loving and growing our fully alive, fully funded retirement lives.